This video continues with Chapter 121 Super Wealthy Family Across the Infinite, A Kryptonian's Odyssey. Chapter 121 Super Wealthy Family. After leaving Chen Yashai's family clinic, Zhu Lili drove straight to Zhu Linger's steel factory. These days, with the help of Yi Wudao, Zhu Linger's business has been booming, getting bigger and bigger, leaving Zhu Lili behind by several streets. Now Zhu Lili finally has the capital to show off to Zhu Linger, and naturally will not miss this opportunity. At this time, Zhu Linger was busy in the office, and Yi Wudao found a corner to secretly smoke a cigar. Zhu Linger was very strict, and Yi Wudao hadn't touched a cigarette for 2 days. Now it was easy to take a break from his busy schedule. Zhu Lili parked the car at the door of Zhu Linger's office and honked the horn hard. The harsh horn finally pulled Zhu Linger back from the world of work. Seeing this luxury car, Zhu Linger hurried out to greet it. She thought it was a big boss from some company. However, when she saw Zhu Dashan and Zhu Lili getting out of the car, she was really shocked. Where did Zhu Lili get the money to buy such a luxury car? Zhu Zhongguo is still angry now, and he didn't get out of the car, unwilling to see Zhu Linger. Zhu Lili took the lead and said, "Zhu Linger, you are still busy. Can you make 200,000 or 300,000 yuan a day?" Zhu Linger perfunctorily said, "Now I am busy for nothing, and I haven't generated any economic profit yet." "Lili, where did you borrow this car?" Zhu Lili said, "How can you talk like that? What do you mean by borrowing? This car is mine." "Your own?" Zhu Linger frowned. "Where did you get so much spare money to buy such a luxury car?" Zhu Lili said, "This is a gift from my future husband." Zhu Linger asked curiously, "Lili, have you found a partner?" "Who is the other party?" "Zhu Lili, Beidui family's eldest son." Zhu Linger was even more surprised. "Beidui family? Lili, are you sure he really loves you? You'd better be cautious. This super rich family is very deep." Zhu Lili, "Humph, I think you are just saying that the grapes are sour because you can't eat them. To tell you the truth, my future husband gave me a betrothal gift of 200 million today. If he doesn't love me, would he give me so much betrothal gift? On the contrary, you, cousin, should reflect on yourself. It's okay for the person you find to be unable to pay the betrothal gift, but he actually eats your gigolo, haha." Zhu Linger's face was red and confused. Zhu Lili said, "I came here this time mainly to tell you that your broken house and broken car should be replaced or thrown away, so that the Yi family will not look down on me because they see that I have such poor relatives. If you really don't have money, you can come to me to borrow." Zhu Linger suddenly thought of something and asked hurriedly, "Lili, you are not going to buy a house, a car and luxury goods to package yourself with the money given by the Yi family." Zhu Lili said, "Nonsense, of course you have to enjoy it when you have money. Of course, I will not only buy it for myself, but also give a house and a car to our grandfather and my father. I am not like some people who make so much money but only care about themselves and don't know how to respect their elders." Zhu Zhongguo in the car stretched out the wrinkles on his face and smiled. W circumflex, W circumflex, W circumflex. Lili still knows how to feel sorry for her grandfather. It's not in vain to love her for so many years. Looking at Zhu Linger again, "Hey, it's disappointing." Zhu Linger advised, "Lili, I advise you to invest the money. If you spend the money, it's gone forever, but if you invest it, it can make money, which is the long-term plan. By the way, I have a good project here. Why don't you join hands with me to take down Fang's construction company that lost?" Zhu Lili cursed in disgust. "You haven't even done anything yet, and you're thinking about my betrothal gift. If I really marry into the Yi family, you'll have to ask me for money every day." Chapter 122. A blessing is not a disaster, but a disaster cannot be avoided. Zhu Linger's face was red and confused. At this time, Yi Wudao came up. Hearing Zhu Lili mention Beidui family and 200 million betrothal gifts, he suddenly realized. It turned out that the betrothal gifts mentioned by Mrs. Yi Wudao's biological mother were really delivered. However, they were delivered to Zhu Zhongguo, making Zhu Lili mistakenly think that it was a betrothal gift for her. It seems that the Beidouyi family still has self-knowledge and knows that if they give it directly to her, she will refuse. Wudao said coldly, I suggest you don't touch those betrothal gifts. The other party may have sent it to the wrong person. What if you can't take it out when they ask you for it? Shut up. Zhu Lili was disgusted. You can't spit out ivory from a dog's mouth. Do you think that everyone in the world is like you, and can't even take out a decent betrothal gift? Forget it. I'm too lazy to waste my words with you, Dad. Let's go. Zhu Lili didn't stay here for long and drove away. Zhu Linger felt like she had overturned a bottle of 5 flavors in her heart, and she felt bad. She whispered, I always feel that the betrothal gift given to her by the Beidouyi family is a trap. The rich are too deep. How can Lily be their opponent? Even if they are playing with Lily, Lily has no power to resist. Wudao smiled bitterly. Why does Zhu Linger have such a big opinion of the rich? Fortunately, he did not reveal the identity of the godly Shui, otherwise Linger would definitely break up now. He advised, don't worry about them. Even if it is really a pit, they are willing to jump into it, and others can't stop it. Zhu Linger sighed, it's a blessing, not a disaster, and it's a disaster that can't be avoided. Forget it. I'd better go to the auction first. Zhu Linger entered the office and got busy again. Wudao took out his mobile phone and sent a text message to FanFiction. Tomorrow Fang's construction company will hold an auction. I don't want anyone to compete with Linger. FanFiction, I understand. I will greet all the bidders. Wudao wanted to send a text message to Mrs. Again, asking her to take back the betrothal gifts. He would not take them. But after thinking about it again and again, he finally did not send it. Wait until Zhu Lili spends all the betrothal gifts, then he will greet the Yi family and ask for the betrothal gifts back. People like Zhu Lili should be taught a lesson. Zhu Lili's family went shopping until dark before returning home. As soon as they returned home, they found a figure wandering at the door. Zhu Lili's family immediately became alert, thinking that someone was eyeing her betrothal gifts. But when they got closer, they found that it was Chen Yashai. Chen Yashai, why are you walking around in front of my house? Zhu Lili asked. Chen Yashai said with a smile, Lily, I have a business to discuss with you. Zhu Lili was a little impatient. What business? Tell me. Chen Yashai said mysteriously, this is a business secret. It is not convenient to say more here. Otherwise let's go in and talk. Zhu Lili nodded reluctantly and took Chen Yashai into the house. Chen Yashai closed the door and lowered her voice, saying, You know my brother has become a non-commissioned officer, right? Zhu Lili said, I heard about it. Do you want me to say hello to my future husband and ask him to promote your brother again? Chen Yashai shook her head hurriedly. That's not what I meant. I mean, my brother can become a non-commissioned officer thanks to his mentor, Staff Officer Hu. Staff Officer Hu is in full charge of the auction of Fang's construction company this time, and my brother has reached a consensus with Staff Officer Hu. Staff Officer Hu will take special care of me at the auction. If I have enough funds, I'm sure I can take down Fang's construction company. Zhu Lili immediately became alert, and another person was eyeing her betrothal gift. So, you want to use my betrothal gift to bid for Fang's construction company? Chen Yashai nodded. Zhu Lili refused without hesitation. No, this is the betrothal gift from my future husband. How can I lend it to someone casually? Chen Yashai persuaded. Lily, think about it carefully. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us. If Fang's construction company, which is valued at nearly 1 billion yuan, is really acquired by us for 100 million yuan, it will be a sure win. If it doesn't work, let's split it 60-40, you 60 and I 40. Chapter 123 Tianfang Auction House. Zhu Lili's heart was pounding. Fang's construction company is valued at 1 billion yuan, and now it can be acquired for 100 million yuan? This deal is a huge profit. Zhu Dashan couldn't wait to ask, Who? You are not talking about Hu from the State District, right? Chen Yajai nodded. Of course it's him. Zhu Dashan was a little happy. I didn't expect that San Kid actually joined Hu's faction. If Hu is willing to help us, the probability of bidding for Fangs is still very high. This business is indeed suitable, but we still need to think about it. Chen Yajai nodded. No problem. You can give me a reply before tomorrow morning. After Chen Yajai left, Zhu Dashan said to Zhu Lily, Lily, Dad thinks you should join forces with Chen Yajai. If your future husband knew that you won 1 billion with 100 million, he would definitely appreciate you more. Zhu Lily nodded. Yes, Dad, I think so too. Also, Zhu Linger wants to bid for Fang's construction company, Humph. She can't do it with me here. She and Wudao actually said that these betrothal gifts might be a trap, which made me so angry. I just want to slap them in the face. Zhu Dashan nodded. Then you and Chen Yajai go to the auction house tomorrow morning. Chen Yajai is quite capable in business. Tianfang auction house is a second-rate auction house. The items auctioned on weekdays are worth no more than 10 million. But today, Fang's construction company will be auctioned here with a starting price of 100 million. This was all arranged by Staff Officer Hu himself. The purpose is to reduce the influence of this auction, and the fewer people know about it, the better. In this way, Chen San's sister Chen Yajai will face much less competitive pressure. However, he didn't know that countless people had been eyeing Fang's construction company and were keeping an eye on the company's dynamics at any time. Even if the auction was held in a small auction house, many bigwigs knew about it in advance. However, FanFiction had already told these people not to get involved in Fang's construction company, so those bigwigs didn't come. Even if they came, they were just hired by FanFiction. Zhu Linger and Wudao arrived early. Looking at the deserted venue, Zhu Linger frowned. Why are there so few people on the scene? It shouldn't be. Just from what I know, there are no less than 10 big bosses who are interested in Fang's company. Wudao said. Maybe those big bosses are rich and too lazy to come to the auction. Zhu Linger nodded, but her face was full of doubts. At this moment, a Rolls-Royce Dawn stopped beside them. Zhu Lily and Chen Yajai got out of the car. Zhu Linger was a little surprised. Lily, why are you with Chen Yajai? Zhu Lily said coldly. I think the suggestion you made yesterday is very correct. My betrothal gift should be used for investment. I came here this time to join forces with Chen Yajai to bid for Fang's company. Zhu Linger was immediately furious. Lily, you are a bit too much. We are a family. It would be fine if you didn't join forces with me, but you actually colluded with outsiders to compete with me. Can the conditions she offered be better than mine? Zhu Lily scolded. Who are you saying is too much? Family? Who is a family with you? Have you forgotten that Grandpa has already expelled your family from the family and does not recognize Zhu Dahai as his son? Zhu Linger was so angry that she was speechless. Wudao suddenly said, Zhu Lily, you are not going to use your betrothal gift to participate in the auction, are you? I advise you not to do this. If the Beiduyi family asks for the betrothal gift back, it will be bad if you can't take it out. Chen Yajai sneered. Ha ha. Wudao, you are the least qualified to say this in the whole audience. Do you think the Beiduyi family is the same as you, and even regards a little betrothal gift as more important than life? The 200 million betrothal gift is a drop in the bucket in the eyes of the Beiduyi family. Unlike you, you couldn't even take out 300,000 at the beginning. Lily, let's go, don't pay attention to him. Zhu Lily left angrily. Humph. I think they are just saying that the grapes are sour because they can't eat them. When I marry into the Beiduyi family, they will be waiting for envy, jealousy, and hatred. Chapter 124. The auction begins. Zhu Linger sighed repeatedly. Now Zhu Lily's family is getting more and more excessive. They treat me as an enemy. No, even if they are enemies, I won't treat them like this. Wudao comforted. Don't worry, Linger, they will beg you later. Promise me one thing, when the price is raised to 200 million later, don't raise the price. Just let them take Fang's company. Why? Zulinger asked curiously. Have you made arrangements in advance again? Wudao smiled mysteriously. You will know when the time comes. Zulinger rolled her eyes and said, pretending to be mysterious again, you are interesting. Wudao smiled indifferently, watching the enemy being forced into a desperate situation and begging him, isn't it interesting? He secretly sent a text message to Mrs. Yi. You gave the betrothal gift to Zhu Zhongyuo, and he and my father-in-law have long severed their father-son relationship. You should take the betrothal gift back as soon as possible. Not long after, Mrs. Yi replied, understood. In the auction house, Hu Longquan, the staff officer, called Chen Yashai to his office. Hu Longquan, when the bid reaches 150 million yuan, you can directly raise the bid by 50 million yuan to 200 million yuan. If you raise the bid so much at once, the bidders will hesitate for a moment. During this period, I will make the hammer, and Fang Group will be owned by you and me. Chen Yashai frowned. Who? Didn't we agree on 100 million yuan? How come it has become 200 million yuan? Hu Longquan, nonsense. There are so many people eyeing Fang Group at the scene. How can you take Fang Company at the starting price? Don't worry, the friend you brought has money, she can afford it. 200 million bets on 10 billion, a sure win. Chen Yashai thought, well okay, I'll go and discuss it with her. Hu Longquan, what's there to discuss? Just bid 200 million yuan. When the rice is cooked, are you still afraid that she won't pay? Chen Yashai gritted her teeth. Okay, I'll listen to you. Hu Longquan showed a barely perceptible sneer at the corner of his mouth. He could pocket another 100 million yuan from the 200 million yuan bid. This time, he made a fortune. The auction will start soon. To ensure that everything goes well, Hu Longquan personally went on stage to preside over the auction. After giving a brief introduction to Fang's construction company, Hu Longquan knocked down the hammer. The auction of Fang's construction company officially begins. Starting price, 100 million yuan. As soon as the words fell, someone shouted, 100 million 10 million. Hu Longquan, 100 million 10 million. Is there anyone who wants to bid higher? Zulinger immediately said, 100 million 20 million. Hu Longquan, 100 million 20 million. Is there a higher price? 100 million 30 million. Someone shouted. Zulinger immediately raised his sign, 100 million 40 million. Then, there was a silence and everyone was hesitating. FanFiction had greeted them in advance. Bidding up to 100 million 40 million is just a gesture, and don't bid higher. Zulinger's current funds are only 150 million yuan. At this time, Chen Yashai suddenly raised her sign, 150 million. Zhu Lili was immediately anxious. Yashai, didn't we agree on 100 million? 150 million. I will have very little left for the betrothal gift. Chen Yashai patiently advised, Lily, you don't want Zulinger to bid for the Fang family. The Fang Group is valued at 1 billion, and if we win it at 150 million, we will make a fortune. Don't worry, I will let you do a losing business. Zhu Lili glanced at Zulinger, gritted her teeth, and said, well, 150 million is fine. As long as I can beat Zulinger. Zulinger would never be willing. She thought for a while and shouted, 160 million. Chen Yashai immediately raised her sign, 200 million. Countless pairs of eyes at the scene looked at Chen Yashai. Who is this person? Boss FanFiction didn't greet him in advance, so how dare he bid 200 million with Zulinger? Chapter 125, Let me show you a good show. Zhu Lili was so anxious that her face turned red. Chen Yashai, you are going too far. You are going to spend all my betrothal gifts on it. Chen Yashai said solemnly, Lily, you can't catch a wolf without sacrificing a child. We can make a lot of money by taking over Fang Group for 200 million. At worst, when we get Fang Group, we can sell it and make a net profit of several hundred million. Besides, you don't want Zulinger to get this bargain, do you? When Zulinger was mentioned, a trace of malice flashed in Zhu Lili's eyes. She made up her mind. Okay, 200 million is 200 million. Zulinger was unwilling and in a dilemma. For her, Fang Group was too important. Let alone 200 million. She would be willing to pay 300 million or 400 million. But she was short of money. She looked at Wudao with pleading eyes. Wudao, can you help me get some money? Wudao smiled slightly. Linger, listen to me. Don't bid. Don't worry, even if they bid for Fangshi Group, they will give it to you obediently. Zulinger sighed. If you can't pay, then don't pay. Why are you talking so high-soundingly? Wudao, believe it or not, I will knock you out with 200 billion now. In fact, Hu Longquan was not going to give Zulinger the opportunity to continue bidding. He made the final decision. 200 million once, 200 million twice, 200 million three times. Congratulations to the VIP in Box 3 for successfully taking over Fang's company. Please come to the backstage now to handle the handover procedures. Chen Yajai breathed a sigh of relief. Lily, no, Mr. Zhu, congratulations. The voice of Mr. Zhu touched Zhu Lily's heart. Mr. Chen, congratulations. Humph, now I have the Beidui family to support me. Zulinger, what can you use to compete with me? Chen Yajai said, let's go handle the handover procedures now. Zulinger walked out of the auction venue in a daze. For her, what she lost was not only Fang's company, but also the opportunity to move up to the next level. Just as she was about to get in the car and leave, Wudao suddenly said, Linger, don't leave yet. I'll treat you to a good show later. Zulinger said inexplicably, what good show? Wudao glanced at the auction house again. You'll know later, the heroine is about to appear. Zulinger looked at him in surprise, hesitated for a moment, and finally decided to stay. This man has never let herself down. After waiting for a while, Chen Yajai and Zhu Lili came out. The two were in high spirits and smiled. Once, the boss of Fang's company, Alex Fang, was someone they looked up to. And now, they have become people of Alex Fang's level. The proudest thing in the world is to live like someone you once admired. Seeing that Zulinger hadn't left yet, Zhu Lili couldn't help but show off. Zulinger, why haven't you left yet? Do you want to cooperate with our company? Zulinger was in a complicated mood and didn't know what to say. Wudao spoke up. Linger, do you remember what I told you 10 days ago? Zulinger was confused. What did you say? Wudao, 10 days later, the Fang family will be named Zhu. Puff. Zhu Lili and Chen Yajai couldn't help laughing. I didn't expect you to guess it right. Now the Fang family is indeed named Zhu. Zhu Lili's Zhu. Wudao, no, it's Zulinger's Zhu. Zhu Lili laughed even more arrogantly. Who gave you the courage to say this? Wudao looked into the distance. A row of luxury cars were slowly approaching this side. He smiled slightly. Of course they gave me the courage. Chapter 126 Return the betrothal gift. Zhu Lili and Chen Yajai looked at them in confusion. Seeing the line of luxury cars, Zhu Lili became excited. They are from the Yi family in Beidou. They sent me the betrothal gifts. They probably came to discuss marriage with me this time. Chen Yajai smiled and said, Lili, congratulations. Zulinger also looked envious. Wudao smiled slightly. Linger, are you envious of her? Zulinger, nonsense. Which girl doesn't want to have a grand wedding? Even the betrothal gift team is so luxurious, so the wedding scene must be even more grand. Wudao, Linger, you don't have to envy. I promise that our wedding will be thousands of times more grand than hers, and the whole city will pay attention to it. W circumflex when zumai.cc Zulinger, aha. Wudao, silly girl, the Wanhui Hall of the Love in the City project is prepared for you. The Love in the City project alone has already caused a sensation throughout the province. Holding a wedding there, how could the whole city not pay attention? A fleet of luxury cars stopped beside them, and an old man in tang suits led a group of people in black suits to come over. The old man in tang suits glanced at Yi Wudao with mixed emotions. It can be said that he watched Yi Wudao grow up. This child has been neglected by his father and mother since he was a child, and his grandmother never even looked at him straight in the eye. All the love of the family was poured into his twin brother. He lived even worse than a servant. Now, this child has grown to such a towering height that even the Yi family can only look up to him. It has to be said that things in the world are unpredictable and fate is unpredictable. He wanted to say hello to Yi Wudao, but Yi Wudao shook his head slightly at him, so he had to give up the idea. Zhu Lili ran up and said, "Uncle Yi, are you here to discuss marriage with me? My future husband is not here. We should talk about this matter face to face." The old man in tang suit said coldly, "Miss Zhu, I'm sorry, my son doesn't like you. We sent the wrong betrothal gift." "What?" Zhu Lili was struck by lightning and petrified on the spot. "The wrong betrothal gift? How is that possible? When you sent the betrothal gift before, you asked my grandfather if he was Zhu Zhongguo and confirmed his identity." The old man in tang suit said, "The real owner of the betrothal gift just has the same name as your grandfather. Now, please return the betrothal gift." Thus, Zhu Lili's head exploded on the spot. Return the betrothal gift? The betrothal gift was taken to the buyer's company. What could she return? The damn Yi Wudao was right, and now people really came to ask for the betrothal gift. It's all his curse. Seeing that Zhu Lili didn't express her opinion for a long time, the old man in tang suit became a little impatient. "We are very short of time. Please don't waste each other's time." Zhu Lili was even more scared. If she angered the Yi family, she would not be able to die even if she had 1,000 lives. Zhu Lili stammered, Can I return your betrothal gifts tomorrow?" She decided to dispose of Fang's company today. At least she could sell it for 500 million, return 200 million, and make a net profit of 300 million. The old man in tang suit shook his head. "Sorry, no. The betrothal gifts are urgently needed now." Zhu Lili's head was as big as an ox, and she couldn't come up with 200 million now. She had to look at Chen Yashai and beg her to think of a way. However, Chen Yashai had already hidden far away. Just kidding, she didn't dare to touch the giant monster of the Yi family in Beidou, otherwise she would be crushed to pieces. Even Hu Longquan was nothing in front of them. Finally, Zhu Lili gritted her teeth and said, "Uncle Yi, I'll tell you the truth. I'll use those betrothal gifts to bid for Fang's company. Otherwise, I'll give Fang's company to you. Fang's company is valued at 1 billion yuan. You've made a fortune." Who knew that the old man in Tang's suit would not be persuaded? "We really don't care about a small Fang family. We just want the betrothal gifts. If it doesn't work, you can give us 200 million yuan and we'll buy betrothal gifts separately." Chapter 127, Yi Wudao of the Yi family in Kyoto. Zhu Lili was really forced to do nothing and could only ask Zhu Linger for help. "Cousin, please help me and lend me 200 million. I will return the money to you when I auction Fang Group tomorrow." Yi Wudao refused categorically. "No, we don't have money either, otherwise we would have bid with you for Fang Group." Zhu Lili begged, "Cousin, why don't you think of a way? You will definitely get 200 million. At worst, I will mortgage Fang Company to you." Zhu Linger's heart was pounding. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take over Fang Company. To be honest, she can still get 200 million if she thinks of a way. However, Yi Wudao refused again. "Sorry, no." Zhu Lili was almost crying. "Cousin, we are a family. You can't just stand by and watch someone die. If I really offend the Yi family, I will die." Yi Wudao said coldly, "Family? But someone clearly said before that we are not a family." Zhu Lili blushed with shame. Zhu Linger felt a little bit reluctant. After all, human lives were at stake now. She looked at Yi Wudao eagerly, begging him to help. Invisibly, she had become dependent on Yi Wudao. If Yi Wudao didn't let go, she didn't dare to make a rash decision. Yi Wudao smiled at Zhu Linger. You are still as kind as ever, so nice. For Linger's sake, we can help you. Give us Fang's construction company and we will give you 100 million. What? Zhu Lily's eyes widened. A company with a valuation of 1 billion. You want to take it for 100 million? Wishful thinking. Forget it, forget it. I'm too lazy to bargain with you. 200 million, the cost price. Yi Wudao shook his head. Forget it. Linger, let's go. Zhu Lily grabbed Zhu Linger. Now only they can save themselves. How can she let them go? Cousin, if you leave, I might really die. 100 million, okay, just 100 million, and you have to lend me another 100 million, at least to get through this difficult time. Yi Wudao looked at Zhu Linger. Linger, what do you think? Zhu Linger nodded quickly. No problem. In fact, even if Zhu Lily wanted 300 million or 400 million, she would agree. Yi Wudao then said to the old man in tang suit, you go back first. We will transfer the money to you later. We end Zhu me.cc. The old man in tang suit nodded and led people away. Zhu Lily breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, you arrange someone to transfer the money first, and then draft a contract and ask me to sign it. As she said that, she was ready to slip away. She wanted to default on her debt. When Zhu Linger transferred the money, she would not sign the transfer contract. At most, she would return the 200 million to her after dealing with Fang's company. However, Yi Wudao was prepared. He grabbed Zhu Lily and took out a contract. I have already drafted the contract. You just sign it directly. Zhu Lily was dumbfounded on the spot. Now she had no way out. She had no choice but to sign the transfer contract obediently. Zhu Linger looked at the transfer contract and her eyes suddenly lit up. This guy had prepared the contract long ago. It seems that he had expected that the Yi family would take back the betrothal gifts. How did he know? Beidou Yi family. Yi Wudao. Could Yi Wudao be from Beidou Yi family? After all, the energy and strength that Yi Wudao had shown before made sense. Chapter 128. The betrothal gift was sent to the wrong person. After Zhu Lily left dejectedly, Zhu Linger asked impatiently, have you prepared the contract long ago? Did you know that the Yi family sent the betrothal gifts to the wrong person? Yi Wudao nodded. Didn't I say it several times before? The Yi family will take the betrothal gifts back. Zhu Linger asked curiously, how did you know? Yi Wudao. In fact, I heard that the girl that the young master of the Yi family fell in love with is the most beautiful and kindest girl in the world. Zhu Lily, not worthy of him. Zhu Linger was surprised. The most beautiful and kindest in the world. How beautiful she must be. Yi Wudao took out his mobile phone, took a photo of Zhu Linger, and showed it to her. That's her. Zhu Linger blushed. You are so talkative. I won't talk to you anymore. I will go back to integrate the Fang group. With the Fang group, our family's strength will have a qualitative leap. Yi Wudao said, Linger, you go back first. I'm going to visit an old friend. Zhu Linger didn't think much, nodded and got in the car and left. Yi Wudao lit a cigarette, found a seat and sat down, puffing smoke. Not long after, the fleet of luxury cars that had just left came back. The old man in tang suit led everyone to Yi Wudao, bowed respectfully, young Master Yi. Yi Wudao nodded and responded coldly, yeah. Uncle Yi, you don't need to be so polite. Back then in the Yi family, Uncle Yi protected him a lot. If it weren't for him, Yi Wudao's childhood would be even more miserable. So Yi Wudao treated him politely. The old man in tang suit sighed, young master, you have suffered a lot in these years outside. Yi Wudao, compared with the suffering in the Yi family, what is the suffering outside? Okay, Uncle Yi, I'm leaving. Don't come to me again if you have nothing to do in the future. The old man in tang suit hesitated several times. He had a lot to say, but he didn't dare to say it. Yi Wudao seemed to see what he was thinking and said, Uncle Yi, don't persuade me anymore. I won't go back. The Yi Wudao who was bullied and humiliated by everyone is dead. I have nothing to do with the Yi family now." After saying that, he strode away. Looking at Yi Wudao's back, the old man in tang suit was filled with emotion. The Yi family in Beidou is invincible in the business world. But this time, it's really a wrong investment. Zhu Lili returned home dejected. At home, Zhu Zhongguo and Zhu Dashan were still immersed in the joy of marrying into a wealthy family. The two were discussing fiercely what dresses they should wear on the wedding day. Seeing Zhu Lili coming back, Zhu Dashan hurriedly greeted her. "Lily, the auction went well. Did you take down the Fang family?" Zhu Lili looked embarrassed. "Dad, not only did you not take down the Fang family, but you also owed Zulinger 100 million. What? Zhu Zhongguo and Zhu Dashan's hearts were beating wildly. How could the foolproof plan fail? They even owed Zulinger 100 million. Zhu Zhongguo hurriedly asked, "Lily, what happened?" Zhu Lili then told them everything about the auction venue. After hearing what happened, the two were shocked. The betrothal gift was sent to the wrong place. This blow was too big for the two. Deep despair overwhelmed them. Zhu Dashan gritted his teeth and made a creaking sound. Zhu Liner and Yi Wudao are simply too much. The Fang family, which is valued at 1 billion, was bought for 1 billion. This is clearly adding insult to injury. No, we can't let them get away with it like this. Not only will we not pay her back 100 million, we will have to ask for another 200 million. Selling the Fang family to her for 400 million is also a bargain for them. Chapter 129, Unkind Visitors. Zhu Lili's face was filled with despair. "Dad, it's too late. I've already signed the contract." Zhu Dashan almost couldn't catch his breath. Yi Wudao had completely blocked their retreat. Zhu Zhongguo seemed to have aged by a dozen years and shouted, "Enough. We should have listened to Zhu Linger and cooperated with her. In that case, she could pay the money for the betrothal gift to the Yi family alone, and we could also get the shares of Fang's company." This realization made Zhu Dashan regret it. But it's no use to regret it now. Zhu Zhongguo said, "Hey, if it is destined, it will come. If it is not destined, don't force it. Don't think about making money from Zulinger anymore. This time, we can let them wipe out the debt of 100 million. Thank God." Zhu Dashan gritted his teeth. If it was before, Zulinger would definitely listen to us and wipe out the debt of 100 million. But now she has Yi Wudao by her side. That guy is a hard bone, not easy to chew. Zhu Zhongguo looked out the window with deep eyes and fell into deep thought. Since Yi Wudao came, Zulinger's career has made great progress. On the other hand, they have been defeated by Zulinger again and again. He feels more and more that Yi Wudao is not that simple. He whispered, "Could it be that the guy surnamed Yi has some deep background?" Just then, two people walked in from the outside. It was Chen Yashai and Hu Longquan, the staff officer. Seeing the two people coming aggressively, Zhu Lili suddenly realized something and her face turned pale. The three of them jointly bought Fang's company, and Chen Yashai and Hu Longquan also had shares. Now that she has made the decision and sold Fang's company to Zulinger, these two people are not here to collect debts. She felt her heart was about to jump out. Zhu Zhongguo hurriedly greeted him and flattered him warmly. "Staff Officer Hu, I'm sorry for not welcoming you from afar. Please come in." Hu Longquan is an officer, and the Zhu family can't afford to offend him. Hu Longquan waved his hand and said coldly, "No need. I came here mainly to get back my shares in Fang's company." Zhu Zhongguo's family was immediately nervous. Sure enough, the visitor had bad intentions. Zhu Lili pleaded, "Mr. Hu, you should have heard about what happened today. Under the circumstances, I had to mortgage Fang's company, otherwise I might really die." Hu Longquan snorted coldly, "I can't control this. I just want to get back my share. If you can't get it out today, you'll die." Zhu Zhongguo was on the verge of collapse. "Mr. Hu, please be kind and don't hold us responsible. With our family's conditions, how could we possibly get it out? According to the rules, The shares belonging to Hu Longquan are worth hundreds of millions now. They can't even get tens of thousands of yuan. Hu Longquan was furious. Then wait for death. Chen Yajai suddenly spoke. Mr. Hu, don't be angry. Listen to me. To be honest, even if we sell the Zhu family, we probably won't be able to raise much money. However, I have a way to get back Fang's company, or even more. But this requires the cooperation of Zhu Zhongyuo's family. Zhu Lily hurriedly said, Yajai, tell us what method you want. We will definitely cooperate with you. Chen Yajai said, you should still remember Chu Delong and his men, the 4 great kings. Zhu Lily said, Chu Delong? Isn't he the former raw material supplier of Zulinger steel plant? Chapter 130 Hu Longquan? Chen Yajai nodded. That's right. The 4 King Kongs are the 4 thugs he raised. But some time ago, they died in an accident. As far as I know, Chu Delong died a few days after dealing with Zulinger. I seriously suspect that the deaths of Chu Delong and the 4 King Kongs were a vendetta. A vendetta planned by Wudao. You bastard! Hu Longquan yelled angrily. 5 lives were taken. The crime is unforgivable. But, Yajai, do you have evidence that Wudao killed them? Chen Yajai said, well, of course there is evidence. On the day Chu Delong mortgaged his raw material production plant to Zulinger, on the way home, someone saw Wudao driving and crashing Chu Delong's car under the bridge. Hu Longquan couldn't wait to ask, who saw it? Chen Yajai glanced at Zhu Dashan meaningfully. Zhu Dashan's family trembled. They understood what Chen Yajai meant. She wanted them to give false testimony. They don't want to die unjustly because of a small profit. They don't want to do it. Just when he was about to refuse, Hu Longquan said in a deep voice, Did you see it? If you haven't seen it, let's talk about Fang's company. My army is waiting outside now and can arrest you at any time. We Nzu.cc army. The army actually came. Zhu Dashan's heart was shaken. If Wudao could save his own life, it wouldn't matter if he died 10,000 times. He gritted his teeth and said with determination, I saw it. Hu Longquan sneered and said, Okay, very good. Please cooperate with me tomorrow. We will take back what belongs to us. After leaving Zhu's house, Chen Yajai and Longquan looked at each other with smiles that showed their scheming had succeeded. In fact, forcing Zhu Lily's family to give false testimony this time was planned in advance. The 2 of them have the same purpose, to kill Wudao and take back the Fang group. Chang Xiaoyu took the initiative to move out for the sake of Wudao's sexual happiness. Wudao and Zulinger lived together again. However, Zulinger still insisted on letting Wudao lay the floor. She is a very traditional girl. The 2 have only been dating for a few months. It is impossible for her to give all of herself to Wudao. Today, in order to integrate Fang's company into her own enterprise, she was exhausted and fell asleep while lying on the bed. Wudao tossed and turned and couldn't sleep. Just kidding, no man can sleep with a gorgeous beauty lying next to her. Just when he was bored, his cell phone rang. It was a message from Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf, Shuai, we just received a secret report. Hu Longquan from the State District is collecting evidence that you killed Chu Delong. It seems he wants to attack you. Wudao, Hu Longquan? I don't know him. Just handle it yourself. A small human life, God Shuai is too lazy to think about it. If you have that time, you might as well spend more time with Zulinger. Lone Wolf, Shuai, I just investigated Hu Longquan and found that he is suspected of collaborating with the enemy and treason. However, the available evidence is not conclusive about this. Collaboration with the enemy and treason. Wudao frowned. As the guardian of peace in the hot summer, what he hates most is collaborating with the enemy and treason. Wudao, collect the evidence and I will go to the prefecture in person tomorrow. Lone Wolf, understood. Early the next morning, Wudao didn't even eat breakfast, so he rushed to the military area to deal with the Hu Longquan matter. Of course, he didn't tell Zulinger the truth. He only said that he was going to meet an old friend. Zulinger didn't doubt his presence and washed and ate as usual. After eating, she went out with Zhu Dahai and Lai Yuhuan. Zulinger is going to work on the Alluring Love project. Zhu Dahai went to Huachun Medical Center, and Lai Yuhuan also went to the medical center to help. As soon as they got downstairs, two vans suddenly blocked their way. Immediately afterwards, several old acquaintances came down. Chapter 131. The whole army is mobilized. The first van got off was Hu Longquan and 4 soldiers. The second van was filled with Zhu Zhongguo, Zhu Dashan, Zhu Lili, and Chen Yashai. This strange scene puzzled Zhu Dahai and his family. Zulinger asked puzzledly, "What are you doing here?" Hu Longquan said coldly, "Where is Wudao?" Zulinger, "He went out." "Why are you looking for him?" Hu Longquan, "He went out." "Humph, I think he fled for fear of crime." Zulinger hurriedly said, "What do you mean by fleeing without guilt? Don't just frame good people." Hu Longquan, "Haha, now we have sufficient evidence to show that he killed Chu Delong and the 4 great kings. W circumflex. When Zumai.cc you'd better hand over Wudao and cooperate with our investigation." Zulinger was immediately anxious. 5 lives, this is not a trivial matter. She hurriedly said, "Impossible, you are talking nonsense. How could Wudao kill someone?" Chen Yashai interrupted and said, "Zulinger, don't make a fuss. Now someone has proved that Wudao killed someone with his own eyes." Zulinger said, "Who can prove it?" Chen Yashai glanced at Zhu Dashan. Zhu Dashan coughed, cleared his throat, and said, "Linger, we all saw Wudao kill Chu Delong with our own eyes, so don't hide it. Hand him over now, you are innocent, otherwise you are harboring a criminal." "What?" Zulinger's family trembled. When Chu Delong fell off the Tuhai River, his grandfather and uncle were in the steel factory. How could they have seen it with their own eyes? They are trying to frame Wudao. Zhu Dahai was so angry that he lost his mind and pointed at Zhu Dashan's nose and cursed. "Brother, I admit that you and Wudao have a grudge, but you can't kill him. He is your nephew's husband. How can you be so cruel and do this?" Zhu Dashan felt a little guilty, and what he did was indeed a bit excessive. But when he thought of the huge wealth, his mind was firm again. "Zhu Dahai, don't talk nonsense. I am killing my relatives for the greater good. If you keep pestering me, I will sue you for defamation." Zhu Dahai gritted his teeth. "Okay, go ahead and sue, go ahead. I don't believe that there is no king's law in this world, and you can easily frame a good person as a murderer." Hu Longquan sneered, "King's law? I am the king's law. With the 3 of them testifying for me, plus the evidence I have, it is easy to sentence Wudao to death." Zhu Dahai's family collapsed. Hu Longquan was telling the truth, and he really had the ability to kill Wudao. Hu Longquan suddenly changed the subject and said, "However, I think Wudao is also a rare medical talent, so we can give him a chance." Zulinger hurriedly asked, "What chance?" Hu Longquan, "Hand over all the companies under your name, and this matter will be over." "Impossible." Lai Yuhuan refused firmly. "That is Zulinger's life's work, more important than her own life, and it must not be handed over to you shameless people." Hu Longquan, "Don't agree. Okay, then I will issue a wanted order now." Wait. Zulinger took a deep breath and forced herself to calm down. "Let me call Wudao first." Lai Yuhuan's eyes lit up. "Yes, call Xiaoe. Xiaoe will definitely be able to settle it." At this time, Wudao was in the State District, checking the evidence of Hu Longquan's treason. After receiving Zulinger's call and understanding the situation, Wudao slammed the table in anger. "Asshole, you came so soon? Okay, since you came to me, don't blame me for being rude. Linger, don't bother with Hu Longquan and don't hand over the company. I'll be back soon." Zulinger said nervously, "Wudao, don't come back for the time being." Hu Longquan brought soldiers with him. "Once you come, they may control you immediately." I'll deal with them first, and then show up after we come up with a foolproof plan." After saying that, she hung up quickly, fearing that Yi Wudao would refuse. Yi Wudao exerted force, and the pen in his hand turned into powder. "Gilling, lead the team." Gilling saluted. "Chen Shuai, how many people do you want to bring?" "Yi Wudao, Zhu District, the whole army is out." Giling's eyes lit up. More than 50,000 people in the state district, all out. Shen Shuai is finally going to do something big. Is he going to reveal his identity? Giling's mind suddenly rang with a sentence that Shen Shuai often said. "One day, the dragon will raise its head and the yellow river will flow backwards. One day, the tiger will return to the mountain and the sky will be stained with blood." Chapter 132. Execute first and ask for permission later. Here, Zhu Linger hung up the phone and said, "I need to think carefully about the conditions you proposed. I will give you an answer tomorrow." She wanted to delay time and try to deal with the other party. Hu Longquan sneered, "HMPH, don't play tricks on me. We don't have time for you. Either hand over the company under your name now, or I will issue a wanted order now." Once the wanted order is issued, Yi Wudao can be caught even if he escapes to the ends of the earth. Once caught, kill first and report later. Kill first and report later. Zhu Linger was desperate. Forget it. It's more important to save Yi Wudao first. Money can be earned again if it's gone, but if Yi Wudao is gone, she will be worse off than dead. Just when she was about to agree, Zhu Dahai suddenly laughed wildly. Okay. Dad, big brother, you did a great job. I admit that I killed Chu Delong and the 4 King Kongs, and it has nothing to do with other people. Zhu Linger and Lai Yuhuan were stunned. Zhu Dahai, who had always been cowardly and silent, stood up under the pressure of death and took the blame for Yi Wudao. This was the Zhu Dahai they knew. However, now was not the time for him to show his courage. Zhu Linger hurriedly advised, "Dad, don't be impulsive. The problem can definitely be solved. At most, I don't want my company anymore. Just give it to them, and we'll start all over again." Zhu Dahai smiled miserably. "Linger, don't be silly. Dogs can never be fed. Even if you give them the factory this time, what about next time? What about the next time? They will use this to pressure you for the rest of your life. I don't want my daughter to become someone else's puppet." Then, he stared at Zhu Dahai with bloodshot eyes. "Dad, you see, you forced your son to death yourself. I hope that on the day I go to the execution ground, you can see me off and watch your own son bleed to death bit by bit." Zhu Zhongguo not only did not feel guilty at all, but he cursed loudly. "Zhu Dahai, you're a loser. Giving birth to you is the most wrong decision I've ever made in my life. What kind of drug did that bastard Yi Wudao give you to make you die for him? If you say one more word for Yi Wudao, I won't acknowledge you as my son." Zhu Dahai sneered. "You won't acknowledge me as your son? Dad, have you forgotten how many times you've said this to me? Zhu Dashan, haven't you always been worried that I'll fight you for the inheritance? Now that I'm dead, no one will fight with you. Also, which of Dad's things wasn't given to me by Linger and me as a filial gift? His. What did you give to Dad?" Zhu Dashan cursed. "Nonsense, who cares about Dad's inheritance?" Zhu Dahai, "No? Then the last time Dad fainted, you stopped people from saving Dad. Didn't you hope that Dad would die soon?" Zhu Zhongguo frowned. "Dashan stopped people from saving me. Dashan, didn't you say that it was Dahai who stopped people from saving me?" Zhu Dashan's expression became a little unnatural, and he hurriedly changed the subject. "Dad, don't listen to his instigation. Staff Officer Hu, why don't you arrest people quickly?" Hu Longquan waved his hand, and the 4 soldiers he brought immediately controlled Zhu Dahai. "Since you are looking for death, I will fulfill your wish. Of course, this is just the beginning. Your entire Zhu family will be buried with you. It is now rush hour, and many neighbors in the community are preparing to go out to work. As a result, the movement here attracted all the neighbors. After figuring out the ins and outs of the matter, the neighbors suddenly became lively. Chapter 133 Whoever makes you cry, I will make him bleed. Oh my god, Zhu's son-in-law is a murderer and he killed 5 people. What's so strange about this? After all, he has been in prison for 5 years and has a criminal record. He will never change his bad habits. I was wondering how could the son-in-law of the Zhu family be so rich? It turns out that his money was all earned by murder and robbery. Zhu Linger's family was ashamed and their heads drooped deeply. At the same time, Wudao was leading an army of 50,000 people towards the community. Because there were too many people, the government directly blocked the road and only allowed Wudao's team to pass. Linhai City was in an uproar, and countless citizens looked at this one huge army through the windows with fear. Linhai City, this is going to change. Soon, Wudao came to the community, and the soldiers immediately blocked the community inside and outside. However, because the community was blocked by a high wall, the residents of the community did not know the situation outside. Wudao glanced at Gilling. Wait here and wait for orders. Gilling saluted. Understood. Wudao drove into the community. There was a mysterious man sitting in the passenger seat of the car. That was the gift Wudao prepared for Hu Longquan. From a distance, Wudao saw Zhu Dahai tied up. Lai Yuhuan and Zhu Linger had already burst into tears. This scene made Wudao feel a pain like a needle. He is looking for death. He stepped on the accelerator and drove straight to Hu Longquan, then got out of the car. Seeing Wudao, Zhu Linger's family was anxious. Wudao, go quickly, they want to catch you. Wudao took a deep breath and suppressed his anger. Linger, don't worry, I will clean up this mess. Hu Longquan laughed. You come to clean up? What can you use to clean up? You came just in time. Today I will catch your Zhu family in one fell swoop. Wudao, you are suspected of killing Chu Delong and the 4 kings. Now please cooperate with our investigation. Wudao, Chu Delong, I didn't kill him. But today I will kill you. Hu Longquan, you didn't kill him? You have to have evidence to speak! W circumflex W circumflex W circumflex. Wudao, evidence? Okay, I'll give you evidence. The next second, Wudao grabbed Hu Longquan's head and smashed it heavily against the front windshield of the car. He was very strong, and Hu Longquan's head smashed the car window glass. Now, Hu Longquan's body is outside, and his head is stuck in the car. Hiss! There was a sound of people sucking in cold air at the scene, and the air froze. Wudao, a labor camp prisoner, dared to attack Hu Longquan. Who is Hu Longquan? The second in command of the state district. Even the mayor bows down in front of him. Wudao, die. Chen Yashai was overjoyed. Let alone whether Wudao could be convicted of murder, his action alone was enough to kill him. She was glad that she had gotten rid of Wudao back then, otherwise she would be implicated now. Zhu Dahai looked ashen, his voice trembling. Wudao, go, take Liner away. Leave Yangxia, don't come back in this life. Zhu Liner burst into tears, and pinched Wudao angrily. Wudao, you lunatic. What on earth are you doing? Run quickly. Wudao gently wiped away Zhu Linger's tears. My wife, only I can bully her. Others, not. Whoever made you cry, I'll make him bleed. At this time, Hu Longquan lay on the car, motionless. He was not fainted, but dumbfounded. Because the person sitting in the co-pilot made him emotionally collapsed. Chapter 134 Did you call him? That person is none other than it is today's leading actor. Chu Delong was killed by Wudao. Ridiculous, isn't he already dead? Why is he standing in front of him alive now? In fact, Wudao didn't really want to take Chu Delong's life, he just threatened him with death. After Chu Delong fell into the river, he was rescued by a lone wolf and sent to the border. This time Chu Delong was needed, so Lone Wolf sent a military helicopter to pick him up. Chu Delong smiled slightly at Hu Longquan. I thought I was unlucky enough for offending the commander-in-chief, but I didn't expect that Hu Longquan would be even more unlucky. After all, he is an active soldier. If he knows the law and breaks the law, he will be punished with an additional penalty. Hu Longquan struggled to climb out of the car, his eyes dull, muttering to himself, "Impossible, how is this possible?" Everyone was confused and couldn't understand what Hu Longquan meant. But soon, everyone suddenly realized. The car door opened and Chu Delong stepped out of the car. There was a commotion in the crowd. Chu Delong is still alive, and the dead has returned. Since the person is still alive, the crime of murder cannot be established. This sudden dawn of victory made Zulinger's family cry with joy. A layer of black lines appeared on the faces of Chen Yazhai, Zhu Lili, and others. Now Wudao not only does not have to take responsibility, they are even charged with false accusations. This blow is simply not too big. Wudao said coldly, "Counsel Hu, this evidence is enough to prove my innocence." Hu Longquan was unwilling to give in. Even if Chu Delong is still alive, what about the 4 Vajras? I can also suspect that you killed them. Wudao glanced at Chu Delong. Chu Delong hurriedly said, "When there was a car accident, it was Donkey Kong driving the car. He was drunk and rolled under the Tuhai River Bridge. Fortunately, I was lucky enough to crawl out, but the 4 Vajras did not survive. This is all caused by the 4 King Kongs themselves and has nothing to do with Mr. Yi." Zulinger's family was completely relieved. With Chu Delong as a witness, Hu Longquan could not frame Wudao anyway. Hu Longquan sneered ferociously, "Okay, very good. Wudao, do you think that I can't do anything to you like this? I'm telling you, even if you hit me just now, I can still put you in jail." Wudao shrugged, "I'm afraid you won't have that chance." His eyes glanced at the gate of the community. The lone wolf squatting at the door saw Wudao's look and took action immediately. He raised his hand and fired into the sky. Then, the violent gunshots attracted everyone's attention, and they all looked towards the door. What they saw in the next second made them crazy. A group of armed soldiers poured in like a tide, continuously flowing, overwhelming, and overwhelming. 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people soon, the entire community was occupied by soldiers. But even so, there was still a dark crowd outside the door that didn't come in. My God, how many soldiers are here? Everyone was frightened and fled back to their homes like crazy, not daring to show their faces. Zulinger's family was also frightened until their legs became weak. Zulinger grabbed Wudao's hand. "Wudao, hurry go home." Wudao smiled slightly. "Why go home? The show is not good?" Zulinger looked helpless. "It's no time and I'm still in the mood to watch a show." Zhu Dahai suddenly said excitedly, "Xiaoi, tell me the truth. Did you call this army?" After waking up the dreamer, Zulinger and Lai Yuhuan looked at Wudao with fiery eyes. Wudao dared to come with confidence and beat Hu Longquan violently. Does this mean that he has the support of this army? Wudao smiled honestly. "We'll find out later." Zulinger angrily pinched Wudao again. "It's appetizing." Hu Longquan was stunned on the spot. What's going on? It looked like the entire army in the prefecture was dispatched. As a staff officer of the state and district, why didn't I get any news about such a big operation? Who are they coming for? Chapter 135. Zhu An-039's son-in-law is awesome. Without giving him much time to think, Lone Wolf walked out and angrily shouted, "Hu Longquan, you deserve death over." Hu Longquan's heart suddenly turned cold. They were actually coming for him. Hu Longquan quickly saluted with a military salute. "Chief, what's wrong with me?" Lone Wolf said, "The Fang group used to belong to the military industry. The military trusted you, so they entrusted you with the auction. I didn't expect that you would practice favoritism and cheat at the auction, causing great losses to the military. It's a heinous crime." Hu Longquan was startled. How come this matter came to light so quickly? Besides, for this trivial matter, it was enough to give an internal warning as usual, so he dared to manipulate it secretly. "But why did you mobilize the entire army? This doesn't follow the rules." Hu Longquan shouted. I'm wronged, Lone Wolf snorted coldly. Wait until you go to the military court before you complain. Someone, come and arrest him. Immediately, some of his men rushed forward and took Hu Longquan under control. The cold handcuffs made Hu Longquan's face look ashen. Lone Wolf glared at Zhu Lily and Chen Yashai again. You two took the photos of the Fang group, and your hands and feet must not be clean either. We will investigate this matter clearly. Once we find out that you are involved, we will kill you without mercy. Zhu Lily and Chen Yashai almost went crazy with fright. If the military targets them, even 10,000 heads are not enough to kill them. The Lone Wolf came and went in a hurry. He stayed at the scene for less than 10 minutes and then left. Zhu Linger grabbed Yi Wudao's hand. Let's go home with me. This matter must be clarified today. Lai Yuhuan and Zhu Dahai also hurriedly followed. Zhu Zhongguo called out Zhu Dahai, but Zhu Dahai ignored him. This made Zhu Zhongguo feel uncomfortable. He sighed and whispered, "Do you think this team was called by Yi Wudao?" Zhu Dashan quickly denied. "Dad, what are you thinking about?" Ren Lone Lang made it clear that he came to arrest Hu Longquan because of the auction of the Fang group. What happened today was just a coincidence. Zhu Lily and Chen Yashai nodded, convinced. Zhu Zhongguo said, "Let me just say, if he really has so much energy, would he still be in jail for 5 years?" Zhu Lily rolled her eyes at Chen Yashai angrily. "Chen Yashai, it's all your fault. If you hadn't forced me to auction, what would have happened? Now we are all being targeted by the military." Chen Yashai retorted, "How dare you accuse me? Isn't it because you are too greedy? Don't rush to investigate the responsibility now. The most important thing is to get rid of the suspicion of manipulating the auction in secret." Zhu Lily, "That's easy to say. It's so easy to get away when being targeted by the military." Chen Yashai, "My brother is now a non-commissioned officer and has a certain say in the army. Now I can only ask him for help. Besides, there is a big shot behind Commander Hu. He is deeply entrenched. He will not be knocked down so easily." Zhu Zhongguo slapped his head. Yes, contact Chen San quickly, he will definitely be able to help." Neighbors were also discussing whether this team was called by the Zhu family's son-in-law. If that's true, then how awesome is this son-in-law? This low-end community is like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon. In the security room, the hand holding the cigarette of Captain Zhang of the security team was trembling slightly. He had long guessed that the son-in-law of the old Zhu family had connections in Shanghai. What happened today further confirms this. He was glad in his heart that he didn't have a quarrel with Lao Zu's family over the parking space. Chapter 136. The God of War is also a human being. In Zhu Linger's home, a family of 3 surrounded Yi Wudao, as if they were interrogating a prisoner. Yi Wudao felt uncomfortable being stared at, and simply said, "Do you have any questions for me? Ask whatever you want, I'll tell you the truth." Zhu Linger, "Tell me the truth. Did you call that army?" Yi Wudao nodded. The Zhu family became even more nervous. Zhu Linger, "Who are you?" Yi Wudao, "I am the famous Shen Chuai." He could no longer hide it, so he had to confess. "Go away." Unexpectedly, Zhu Linger said impatiently, "Tell the truth." Yi Wudao was stunned. "This is the truth." Zhu Linger didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You mean, a great general has been in prison for 5 years. He stayed with an ordinary girl for 5 years, and never fought back despite being beaten or scolded. Even on the wedding, he couldn't even afford the 300,000 yuan betrothal gift, and had no choice but to ask the bridesmaid to help him out." Yi Wudao, "So what? The God of War is also a human being, and he has his own difficulties." Zhu Linger was completely helpless. "I really admire you. You are so patient, and you are still pretending to be a big wolf at this time. In my opinion, it is clear that the lone wolf came to catch Hu Longquan because of the auction of Fang group. You are just a blind cat that meets a dead mouse." Yi Wudao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "I have confessed it, and you still don't believe it. You can't blame me." It just so happens that he is still unwilling to admit his identity as the god of war, lest Zulinger and him have distance or even break up. He took advantage of the situation and smiled. I didn't expect you to guess it all. Today's incident was indeed my luck. Lai Yuhuan and Zhu Dahai's tense nerves also relaxed. If Yi Wudao really admitted that he was a big shot, the old couple would really consider letting Zulinger break up with Yi Wudao. After all, Zulinger is just an ordinary person, not worthy of the big shot who can summon 50,000 soldiers with a wave of his hand. Even if she married him, she would probably suffer from cowardice for the rest of her life. Zulinger said, "Why don't you confess earlier? I won't look down on you just because you are a commoner." "Okay, no more nonsense. I'm going to work." "Yi Wudao, are you going?" "Yi Wudao, I have to visit an old friend later, so I won't go." Zulinger muttered as she walked. "Another old friend? Where do you get so many old friends from?" Zhu Dahai and Lai Yuhuan also went to the clinic. Now Yi Wudao is the only one left at home. He took out his mobile phone and called the Lone Wolf number. "Lone Wolf, Chen Marshal, how are you going to deal with Hu Longquan?" "Yi Wudao, let him compensate for the losses caused by Fang Group, and then let him go." Lone Wolf was a little unwilling. "Shen Marshal, just let him go?" "Yi Wudao, what do you know? I'm calling it a long line to catch a big fish. I seriously suspect that there are people behind Hu Longquan, and there are remnants under him. Let him out, he will definitely not give up, and when he uses his backers and remnants, I will catch them all in one fell swoop. Collaborating with the enemy and selling out the country must be eradicated, so as not to resurrect in the spring breeze." Lone Wolf, understood. After hanging up the phone, Yi Wudao went downstairs. Chu Delong was still standing there, trembling. Whether he left or stayed, lived or died, he still had to listen to Yi Wudao. Seeing Yi Wudao, he trembled and went up to him. "Mr. Yi." Yi Wudao glanced at him and said coldly, "Have you ever been involved in gangs?" Chu Delong nodded. "You have some power in the underground world." Yi Wudao, "Well, go and gather your old men and wait for your orders." Chu Delong was overjoyed. "Mr. Yi would not only not kill him, but might even use him. This is a great honor." He immediately agreed and left in a hurry. Yi Wudao took a deep breath. Such little guys can sometimes accomplish great things. Chapter 137, Small Investment for Big Gain. Ju District. Hu Longquan was not sent to the military court, but was released after paying a fine. He naturally thought that it was the old leader behind him who spoke up to protect him. But he didn't know that Yi Wudao was deliberately releasing the tiger back to the mountain. As soon as he came out, he couldn't wait to find his apprentice, Chen Yashai's younger brother, Chen San. Chen San already knew the whole story of this incident. As soon as he saw Hu Longquan, he expressed his loyalty and said, "Master, that bastard Yi Wudao dared to hit you, which is really unforgivable. Do you want me to arrange someone to teach him a lesson?" Hu Longquan shook his head. "It's too easy for him to teach him a lesson. I will make him bankrupt and let him see that beating me will cost a bloody price." Chen San said, "Master, do you have a revenge plan?" Hu Longquan nodded. "Yes. It's just that I have just been released and it is not convenient for me to show up, so you have to take full responsibility for this revenge plan." Chen San nodded. "No problem. Master, don't worry, I will definitely get justice for you this time." Hu Longquan smiled with relief, motioned Chen San to put his ear close, and whispered. After a while, Chen San's face showed a ferocious sneer. "Master, it's smart. You are risking a lot with a small investment." "Humph, Yi Wudao, let's see if you can survive this time." Chen San left the army on the same day on the grounds of going home to visit relatives. He didn't even go home, but went directly to a small village called Zhaojiashuang and found a villager named Ju Hu. Ju Hu used to be a soldier under Hu Longquan, but later violated discipline and retired early. After retiring, he returned to his hometown Zhaojiashuang and became a village bully. Over the years, he has maintained a secret contact with Hu Longquan and helped him do some shameful things. When he learned that Chen San was sent by Hu Longquan, Ju Hu was very excited and warmly invited Chen San to his home. After pouring the tea, Ju Hu asked respectfully, "Mr. Chen, I wonder what instructions did Staff Officer Hu send you this time?" Chen San said, "I heard that Zhao Jiazhuang is going to be demolished." Ju Hu nodded. "Yes. It is the Love in the City project that has made a sensation in the province, and it is going to occupy the land of our village." Chen San said, "Staff Officer Hu means that you must stop the demolition." Ju Hu was stunned. "Why, Staff Officer Hu also likes this piece of land?" Chen San shook his head. "This piece of broken land is really not in Staff Officer Hu's eyes. You should have heard that Staff Officer Hu has a feud with the general manager of the Love in the City project, and Staff Officer Hu wants to start the Love in the City project. This land is the most important land for the project. If this land is not obtained, the Love in the City project will definitely fail. At that time, the project manager will violate the contract with the Shen family and will be in jail or even bankrupt." Ju Hu gritted his teeth. "Humph, dare to offend Staff Officer Hu, this bastard must die." "Mr. Chen, don't worry, the villagers don't want to demolish the house, and with my deterrent power, they will definitely not be able to demolish the house." Chen San patted Ju Hu on the shoulder. "Do a good job. Staff Officer Hu said that if you complete this task, you will be rewarded." Ju Hu's face flushed with excitement. "Thank you, Staff Officer Hu." Chen San gave a few more instructions and left in a hurry. He was going to the next destination and deploying the next plan. At that time, Wudao was checking a document at home. It was sent by the lone wolf, Hu Longquan's network of contacts in the army. Wudao wanted to analyze which people in his network of contacts were traitors like him. Just when he was busy, Zhu Linger suddenly called. "Wudao, you should go to Zhao Jiazhuang right now. Xiao Yuer might be in danger." Chapter 138. It cannot be measured by money. Wudao suddenly became nervous. What happened to Xiao Yuer? Wudao likes this quirky sister-in-law very much. He has long regarded her as a family member, so he was nervous. Zhu Linger said, "I asked Xiao Yuer to be responsible for the preliminary demolition work of the Love in the City project. She encountered violent resistance to demolition in Zhao Jiazhuang, and the two sides fought. Xiao Yuer must not be in trouble." Wudao hurriedly comforted, "Don't worry, I will rush over immediately." After hanging up the phone, he rushed to Zhao Jiazhuang. Zhao Jiazhuang is geographically remote. The nearby area has not been developed, and the traffic conditions are quite poor. When it was 5 or 6 kilometers away from Zhao Jiazhuang, there was no road, only a narrow path, and cars could not pass. Wudao had no choice but to stop the car and walk there. Now the spring breeze is strong, everything is green, the wheat is green, and the scenery is nice. However, Wudao had no time to appreciate it, just lowered his head and hurried on. Just a few steps away, his eyes were suddenly attracted by a plant on the ridge next to him. He immediately stopped, carefully picked up the plant, and held it in his palm to observe carefully. His eyes became more and more fiery, and finally he picked a leaf and tasted it. Then he became excited. Resurrection grass, it is the 7th of the 10 rare and precious herbs. However, this resurrection grass is extremely rare, and only grows in small quantities in the 4 major medicinal fields in Yangtze. How can it be here? Could it be? He suddenly realized something and looked around. He found more resurrection grass. Wudao was even more excited. Sure enough, this is a medicinal field. And it looks quite large. There are only 4 medicinal fields in my great Yangtze, and the rare and precious herbs planted on them have saved the lives of countless soldiers. But this is far from meeting the needs of the army. If there is one more medicinal field, it will definitely save the lives of more soldiers. Its value can no longer be measured by money. Even when he led thousands of troops to force the 8 countries to sign the 8-Nation Alliance, he was not so excited. The significance of discovering a medicinal field is too great. At this time, a group of people came over here. It was Cheng Xiaoyu and the demolition workers. Seeing that Cheng Xiaoyu was fine, Yi Wudao finally let go of his worries. Cheng Xiaoyu smiled unconsciously when she saw Yi Wudao and ran up to him. "Brother-in-law, why are you here?" Yi Wudao said, "Well, I heard that you were violently resisted by the demolition, and I was worried that you were in trouble, so I came to see you." Cheng Xiaoyu said, "Hey, I'm fine, mainly because my workers protected me. But my workers are unlucky." Yi Wudao glanced at the demolition workers. Those demolition workers were all big and strong, but at this moment they were covered with wounds and swollen noses and faces. Yi Wudao frowned. "Xiaoyu, are there many villagers who took action? Otherwise, how could they be beaten so badly?" Cheng Xiaoyu shook his head. "Not many people took action, but they were very powerful. They were as thin as monkeys, but they could fight better than these strong men." Yi Wudao seemed to be thinking. It is obvious that those villagers had taken the resurrection grass. Resurrection grass can cure all diseases and can strengthen the body if there is no disease. The title of the top 10 rare and precious herbs is not covered. Yi Wudao wanted to get to know the villagers up close. He asked Cheng Xiaoyu, "Xiaoyu, do you know why those villagers resisted the demolition?" Chapter 139. Those who insult the godly general shall die. Cheng Xiaoyu shook her head and replied, "I don't know. I wanted to communicate with them, but they beat people up when they disagreed." Yi Wudao said, "Well, you go back first. I'll go over to see the situation." Cheng Xiaoyu hurriedly said, "Brother-in-law, I'll go with you." She was not worried about danger. "Just kidding. With Shenchuai by my side, how could there be danger?" Yi Wudao shook his head. "No. You take the workers to treat the disease first, and we will reimburse all the medical expenses. Cheng Xiaoyu looked disappointed, but she didn't dare to refute Shenchuai, so she could only leave disappointed. Yi Wudao hurried to Zhao Jieshuang. At this time, the villagers who gathered at the entrance of the village were dispersing, but a few people were still left at the entrance of the village. The leader was Zhu Hu. Zhu Hu found Yi Wudao and immediately became alert. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" He was worried that Yi Wudao was from the demolition team. Before Yi Wudao could speak, a thin figure suddenly jumped out of the crowd. "Old Yi, gosh, it's you. I didn't expect to meet you here." "Huh?" Yi Wudao frowned and looked at the thin figure carefully. After a moment, he finally recognized the other person. This was his former cellmate, Zhu Pingping. Zhu Pingping used to make a living by stealing tram batteries. After being caught, he said, "It's impossible to work," which made people laugh. The two served their sentences in the same cell. Zhu Pingping often stole some small things from the prison guards and shared them with Yi Wudao. The relationship between the two was pretty good. I didn't expect Zhu Pingping to be released now, and they met here. Yi Wudao smiled at Zhu Pingping. "Old Zhu, what a coincidence. What are you doing here?" Zhu Pingping said, "This is my hometown." "But you, why are you here?" Zhu Hu asked impatiently. "Zhu Pingping, who is this person?" Zhu Pingping said hurriedly, "Oh, he is my former cellmate, Old Yi." Puff. Zhu Hu and several of his men couldn't help laughing. "So he's a prisoner like you. The friendship between us in prison is strong. You two should have a drink later." Yi Wudao glanced at Zhu Hu with murderous intent in his eyes. "Those who insult the godly general shall die." Zhu Pingping hurried over and took Yi Wudao's hand and walked into the village. "Old Yi, let's go, let's have a drink today." Yi Wudao clearly found that Zhu Pingping's strength was much greater than usual. It was probably because of taking the rejuvenating grass. He took out the rejuvenating grass and showed it to Zhu Pingping. "Old Zhu, do you know this thing?" Zhu Pingping said, "Of course I know. White flower diced. It's everywhere in the fields at the head of the village." "Yi Wudao, have you eaten it?" Zhu Pingping, "I have eaten it, but it doesn't taste good. I don't like it. I often cut white flower diced to feed pigs." Feeding pigs. Yi Wudao felt a pain like a needle. This herb of resurrection grass is worth tens of millions in the black market, and he feeds pigs with tens of millions or even hundreds of millions. You deserve to be poor. Zhu Ping said, Old Yi, remember what I told you in prison. I will introduce my little sister to you when you get out. It just so happens that today I will take this opportunity to match you two up. Yi Wudao laughed dumbly. Once you have seen the sea, you will never be as good as water, and you will never be as good as clouds except for Wushan. After seeing Zulinger's kindness and beauty, how can he have room for others in his eyes? While talking and laughing, the two came to Zhu Ping's home, an extremely ordinary rural courtyard. As soon as they entered, a refreshing smell of food hit them. Zhu Ping shouted, Mom, little sister, a friend of mine is here today. Make 2 side dishes, let's drink. An old lady and a young girl walked out of the simple kitchen. It was Zhu Ping's mother and Zhu Xiaomai. Chapter 140. Don't be ignorant of the importance of raising. Mother Zhu glanced at Yi Wudao with a bad face. Ping Ping, who is this person? Zhu Ping said, he is the old Yi I often told you about. Mother Zhu's expression became even more unhappy. I won't say anything to you if you hang out outside all day long, but why do you bring such a person home? Little sister Zhu also sneered. Brother, is he the one you said you would introduce to me? Humph, what is your intention to let me marry a labor camp prisoner? Zhu Ping was immediately anxious. Shut up, little sister, what nonsense are you talking about? Little sister Zhu's attitude was still tough. I'm just telling the truth. Mother Zhu said impatiently, Little sister, don't pay attention to him. The food is almost ready, help me. The two went back to the simple kitchen and ignored them. Zhu Ping was extremely embarrassed. That old Yi, don't bother with them. They are just sharp-tongued but kind-hearted. Yi Wudao smiled bitterly. It seems that Zhu Ping's status in the family is not very good. His mother and younger sister are merciless when they confront him, and they don't give him any face. Forget it. Who asked you to help me when I was in the most difficult time? Today I will help you improve your status in the family. Zhu Ping led Yi Wudao into the house. There were good wine and food on the table just in front of the door. Zhu Ping's appetite was aroused. Just as he was about to pick up the chopsticks to start eating, his younger sister came in and took away all the food. Zhu Ping was anxious. Little sister, what are you doing? Zhu Xiaomai said, these meals are for you. Zhu Hu will come over later to talk about the demolition and our marriage. When Zhu Hu comes, you can drink with him. Really, why do I have to deal with a useless brother like you? If there were no other men in our family, I would not let you embarrass me at the table. Zhu Ping's hands and feet trembled with anger. Little sister, you are too much. My friend is here. Yi Wudao hurriedly patted Zhu Ping on the shoulder and handed him a cigarette. Don't be angry. Zhu Ping was dejected and embarrassed. Hey, old Yi, I'm sorry to make you laugh. Yi Wudao smiled slightly and said nothing. At this time, a hearty laugh came from the yard. Aunt San, little sister, what kind of food are you cooking? It smells so good. It was Zhu Hu who came. Mother Zhu and Xiaomai Zhu hurried out to greet him. Huzi is here, please come in. Today, Auntie specially made your favorite braised pork. Brother Hu, you are getting more and more handsome. Their enthusiasm for Zhu Hu and their indifference to Zhu Ping formed a sharp contrast. Zhu Ping's face became worse and he cursed, what the hell. Led by Zhu Xiaomai, Zhu Hu walked in. Seeing Yi Wudao was also there, his eyes suddenly lit up. Oh, what a coincidence, you are here too. Zhu Xiaomai was surprised. Do you know each other? Zhu Hu said, I just met him at the entrance of the village. Isn't he Zhu Ping's cellmate? It just so happens that I'm curious about life in prison. You must tell me about it later. Zhu Xiaomai squinted and smiled. Yes, he has been in prison for 5 years and he should know everything in the cage. The other party kept talking about being in prison and Zhu Ping couldn't stand it anymore. Enough. Old Yi, let's go out to eat. Zhu Xiaomai was immediately unhappy. Go out to eat. Do you have money? Brother Hu is willing to sit with you. which is a face for you, don't be ungrateful. Yi Wudao also patted Zhu Pingping on the shoulder and comforted him. Since the food is ready, let's make do with it. But Zhu Pingping was unwilling. Sit down. Yi Wudao pushed Zhu Pingping to the seat. Zhu Hu smiled brightly. Ping Dian, you have to learn from old Yi. You have to be thick-skinned to get by in society. All right, legends, that's it for today. If you're ready for the next chapter, smash that like button and flood the comments right now. Remember, we've got 3 days to prove this story needs to continue. Subscribe so you don't miss the drop, and I'll meet you in the next audiobook.